Ruy Lopez opening, Morphy defense, Breyer, Zaitsev hybrid variation, 11.NBD2BB712.BC2 Re813.NF1BF814.NG3G615.B3. Sudden a close game that was lost by a mistake. That game was pretty competitive. Both players had an amazing opening. That was a well-fought middle game that white got the better of. Sharp games are frequently the result of starting with the king's pawn since it dominates the center and frees up the bishop and queen on the light squares. A typical answer is e5, which builds a position in the middle, controls d4, and frees up the queen and bishop on the dark square. The move nf3 advances the knight toward the center, engages the e5 piece in combat, and sets up a castle. nc6 defends the pawn on e5, advances the knight toward the center, and scans the d4 square. The Ruy Lopez opening develops the bishop to immediately attack the knight on c6, the lone defender of the e5 pawn. a6 forces the bishop to decide, exchange or retreat. ba4 safely retreats the bishop while keeping pressure on the knight. nf6 attacks the undefended e4 pawn and develops the knight at the same time. Castling gets the king out of the center and prepares to develop the rook to e1. b7 develops the dark squared bishop and prepares to castle. 1 rupee centralizes the rook and protects the e4 pawn. b5 gains space on the queen side and forces the bishop to the b3 square. bb3 is forced, but the bishop is well placed because it attacks the f7 square. d6 defends the e5 pawn and allows the light squared bishop to develop. c3 prepares the d2-d4 pawn break and clears the c2 square for the light squared bishop. Castling gets the king out of the center and activates the rook. h3 prevents black from developing the light squared bishop to g4, which would pin the knight and make it hard for white to play d4. nb8 retreats the knight in order to relocate it to d7, black plans to fianchetto the light squared bishop on b7 and doesn't want the knight to block it on c6. d4 attacks the e5 pawn, controls the center and opens the diagonal for the dark squared bishop to develop. nbd7 develops the knight toward the center, defends the e5 pawn and keeps the a8h1 diagonal open for black's light squared bishop. nbd2 develops the knight toward the center and protects the e4 pawn. Fianchetto move bb7 places the bishop on the long diagonal. bc2 retreats with the bishop to defend the e4 pawn. Re8 moves the rook to a central file and frees the f8 square for black's pieces. nf1 maneuvers the knight toward the king side and prepares to play either ne3 or ng3 while also opening the diagonal for the dark squared bishop. bf8 retreats the bishop to defend the king side and unblock the e-file. ng3 activates a knight and overprotects the e4 pawn. The dark squared bishop is getting ready to be fianchetto to g7, where it will sit on the long diagonal. This develops a bishop off its starting square, getting it into the action. It is the last book move. As a result, the bishop grows and gains flexibility on the long diagonal. It is quite good. Now that the rooks can see one another, they can defend one another. It is quite good. The rooks are linked by this, making it easier for them to work together in the future. That's good. Very precise. It is best. This hits in the middle and prevents the opponent from gaining ground. That's good. It is a fair deal after all captures. It is ideal. This maintains the balance in material with a good trade. It is best. This is an equal trade. It is best. Recaptures. It is ideal. This gains time by putting a queen in danger and getting it to flee. It is quite good. The queen is now on a square that is more secure. That's good. This strikes a rival knight. It is ideal. This reveals an attack on a pawn. It is best. This provides an equal exchange of parts. It is ideal. Black's situation was worse, but now they are losing. It is incorrect. The pawn is now adequately defended. It is best. What I would have advised is that. It is ideal. This poses a material threat. It is ideal. Perfectly on point. It is ideal. This overlooks an opportunity to develop a rook off its starting square. It is a mistake. Sudden a close game that was lost by a mistake. That game was pretty competitive. Both players had an amazing opening. That was a well-fought middle game that White got the better of.